Yo, what's going on, homies? What's good? What's good? Welcome to or welcome back to KovaxCorner. Appreciate you taking time, come through, hang out, with the homie. So tonight, like I've been talking about doing this for a minute, right? So like this new series I'm checking out, just trying it out. Want to see what your guys' reaction is. So let me know if this is something that you're interested in. Blunt talks on the corner, man. We're gonna be talking about what's going on in my neck of the woods up here in Canada. Good old Canada, you know? Pretty much, we got a new PM. PM's Prime Minister is Mark Carney. Mark Carney's, So, like, I'm a centrist. I see the positive on both sides and all that, but, like, man, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Mark Carney. And holy shit, Mark Carney sold Canada to Europe. Trump's furious because obviously America is the biggest trade partner that we have, but the whole tariff situation that's going on, it is what it is. Trump's making a point, which is fully understandable. I get it. That, and plus, like, kudos to Trump for what he did for the whole Iran situation that was going on there. But yeah, no, man, we're gonna smoke some, chill, give our blunt opinion about what's going on, so that you guys have some insight on what's going on. If you have any information that you might want to share, feel free to share in the chat. Also, this is Mr. Sunshine, Mr. Sunshine Baby. Check him out. He's a Canadian YouTuber as well. His link's down in the description below. If you want, feel free to check him out. Our news straight up posts a bunch of pictures of him all the time. I'm already subscribed, right? So like, subscribe, make sure that you check his channel out. I pretty much want to see what he's saying. So like, this is who I usually watch about the Canadian politics that's going on right now. There's a couple that I watch, I'm not gonna lie, and I didn't ask to use this, but hopefully it'll be transformative enough in the stream here. But yo, welcome to Blunt Talks, man. Episode 1. We're gonna check this shit out. What's going on, Lulu? What's happening? The Shadow Dolls are doing way better now. Nice. Singer, sick. I'm going back to Lulu Sky YouTube. I like it better. 9 days I gotta wait. That was work. Work was alright. It wasn't as bad as it was the other day. Not only that, but there was a bunch of maintenance that ended up popping off in my building today, so I was unable to stream this afternoon for Final Fantasy 2, but we're going to pick that up tomorrow. But anyway, we're going to get into it. I want to see what Mr. Sunshine has to say about this. Holy shit, Mark Carney sold Canada to Europe, Trump furious. I've already seen it, but I halfway forget what was going on. And before we even get into it, give me 1 second. I'll go get myself a drink. I'll be right back. Hold on. See what's going on with H3 and everybody, so it's like keeping that shit promised. Some water. I straight up forgot that I had it out there, or I didn't bring it in, but that's on me. All right, that's good. Yeah, it was all right. All right, so like, we're about to hop on into this. I want to see what Mr. Sunshine Baby here has to say about Mark Carney selling Canada to Europe, because like, when I seen that, I was like, no fucking way, man. No way. I understand about the whole America becoming the 51st state and all that, and whatever trade partner on top. It'd be like really beneficial for Canada, in my opinion, and quite a few people's opinion that I've spoken with about this. Because half the time we're talking politics and shit, right? I'm not into politics too much. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Mr. Sunshine Baby's link is down in the description. Make sure you check his channel out, give him a like, subscribe, all that if you're interested in Canadian politics as well. So we're about to hop on in, see what's going on, and also if this is something that you're into, like, let me know. Just due to the fact that I'd be able to do American politics, like pretty much anything, right? Anything. So let's hop on into it. What do you guys say, Mr. Sunshine?
All right, well, tensions are high. I wasn't expecting this, but they're not high in the Middle East. Well, they probably still are, even though...
Which is a good thing.
Trump organized this ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Where tensions are higher domestically in America. President Trump is about to take off for the NATO summit, and as of right now, he is either en route to the NATO summit or at the NATO summit. But when he was leaving the White House, when he was leaving America, about to board in his helicopter, the press was attacking him, and he just snapped, lost it.
Yo, that was the best. That was the best, man. Just Trump calling them out straight up. They don't fucking know what they're doing.
Blame the guy. The guy is dealing with real world stuff, like actual conflict, nuclear weapons, like craziness, and he's being attacked and attacked and attacked by the Democratic Party, by the Republican Party, by Republican supporters, and the press. Like, everybody has been attacking Trump, it feels like, from different angles. And so he just dropped an F-bomb. He dropped the big F. The big F.
The big F.
I mean, it's organic. It makes sense.
Well, it's better than using the N-bomb. Nuclear.
But it's interesting because we don't see Trump ever swear. We know he doesn't drink. We know he doesn't smoke. And we kind of know that he doesn't really swear. But he...
The whole thing about Trump not smoking, not drinking and stuff like that, he had an older brother who pretty much drank himself to death, right? And, like, Trump's just not about that. On top, like, his parents told him, don't be smoking, don't be fucking around, and to be in the business, because his father plus his father's father, his grandfather, pretty much started the whole Trump Hotel situation where they ended up getting into real estate.
Just doesn't care now. So yeah, that happened, and we get updates from Air Force One as to what else is going on. But on the Canadian side, Mark Carney sold Canada to Europe.
So, like, yo, that's kind of bullshit. So Mark Carney got given the position that he's in for Prime Minister in Canada at the moment, and because we had Justin Trudeau, but Justin Trudeau was fucking up hard. I ain't even gonna lie, like, everybody was telling Trudeau, like, hey Trudeau, fuck off, fuck you, kind of deal. Like, didn't matter where he went, he got heckled. He got continuously heckled. So they had, like, a bit of a snap election, and it doesn't make sense to me and a few people that I know that we were talking about this and shit, where everybody wanted a change, and they picked Mark Carney over Pierre Poilievre, where it's like, it's gotten worse in Canada, right? Not only that, but the G7 just, like, the NATO meeting just happened, so G7 happened, Trump came, pretty much sunned Carney in front of everybody, because everybody just wanted to know what Trump was saying, what he was doing and stuff, right? Sunned Carney. So he ended up going over to the NATO meeting, and Trump's been saying about other countries that haven't been putting in enough money towards NATO and protection and stuff like that, where America's just been paying the bill, pretty much fronting the bill to everybody, between, like, the other European countries such as, like, Italy and Canada. We were way low on paying that for defense and shit like that too, right? So, like, there's a whole thing about we're gonna be making what we owe kind of deal, and Mark Carney's, like, gearing up our military, big in our military. I'm not fully aware of the whole entire situation, because I've only seen so much, because I'm paying more attention to the American politics than Canadian politics at this moment in time, just because of the whole thing that happened with Iran, right? But anyway, yeah, apparently some shit, I don't know, some shit's popping off over here in Canada. I'm not fully aware of it, but we can learn together.
Like, actually sold Canada to Europe, and Trump is not going to be happy about that, and I predict at the NATO summit, he's going to say, Canada's not allowed to do that trade with Europe. They can do it with us, but it's a national security issue. I'm calling it.
So I believe that that's what has transpired over there at their NATO meeting. I'm not 100% about that, but like that's how I feel it transpired.
Right now, that's what I'm predicting, but let me know down in the comments if you guys agree or disagree. Nonetheless, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does
Like, subscribe, Mr. Sunshine,
Without further
baby.
ado, let's get into this because this is quite peachy.
Oh, he showed the clip too.
Yeah, too. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Yeah, he was pissed at Israel. It was like the last second kind of thing. And then that other bomb that came from Iran and stuff after the ceasefire was called, and they're just like, we had nothing to do with it. Man.
Yeah, too. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Fucking Israel got
as soon as
pissed.
we made the deal, they came
And they
out
just-
and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before.
They pretty much took everything from the shop and just dropped it. Last, like, yo, Hail Mary, throw that shit. Just do as much damage as possible. After Trump ended up using, 12 bunker buster bombs over there.
The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it in the first hour. You know what I mean? Like, save it. If it means that much to you, instead of just bombing this. Well, realistically, if they were tactical strikes on other like missile silos and stuff like that Iran, however it is that you want to say it, was using, that would make sense in order for the ceasefire to actually be liberated correctly, in my opinion, right? Where tactical strikes for wherever missile silos are, in order for them to try and like hit them again, just get rid of it so that everybody stops fighting. But like, it's a whole shit show.
But I'm really unhappy if
But there's
Israel's
peace
going
right
out
now.
this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that?
Such a G. And then he turns around and walks away. Like, yo, straight mob boss styles. That's how he's been like holding it down so far as the president. A very sound businessman and a mob boss.
He ain't messing around. He just is not messing around. And honestly, the quiet part is now been said out loud.
Yeah.
This fight has been going on for so long. Now, what the hell you guys been fighting about? I mean, your great-great-great-grandparents.
So like, that whole conflict between Israel and Iran is like, that's a holy war.
Started it. Just drop it. Come on. Let's all get along. Or you're gonna die. America's just gonna bomb you. That's it. That's how
Facts.
this works. Get along or die. Die like a dog.
Yeah, so like, that's the first time he's ever like swore openly like that. So it goes to show how pissed off Trump actually was. You know what I mean?
Anyways.
Because he's trying to broker a deal for peace and a ceasefire over there in the Middle East. He like pretty much, he's been doing a lot. He has been making peace fucking everywhere, where he's like gonna get nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize between Pakistan, the whole Pakistan situation. He made peace. India and Pakistan made peace over there, over in the Congo. Like, I think there was like 5 different wars that he stopped. Peace over there. Israel, Iran is somewhat peace over there. He's doing stuff with Iraq right now and stuff like that, because he's opening everybody up for trades, which is super smart for America, because you guys are going to end up, as you could probably already start to see, your gas is getting lower, your food cost is getting lower. He's bringing the money in for the country so everybody will be able to eat correctly, right? I wish that they were doing that shit up here, but they ain't.
It's not the only thing that we've heard from Trump. He's also on Air Force One, taking some more questions.
Do you want any consequences for
It's
Israel?
allowed for one person to be honest with facts.
They didn't do anything. They would have if they put out a statement of truth, and they didn't do anything.
This might not happen again. Say in a couple weeks that.
Tired of it. I think they don't want it to happen again.
All honesty, I don't think anything's gonna happen again because Trump will be like, I'm just gonna push the button, man. Like, not nuke button, but like push the button, send his tactical air force over there, because like they weren't even seen by radar. And over there in Iran, they have the same radar from Russia, so it makes it look like the radar that Russia is using is actually like low tier because they couldn't notice the plane at all. And the smartest thing, in my opinion as well, from playing like RTS games and stuff like that, Command and Conquer, is like he sent the plane and got it the fuel in the air with a half a tank for it to carry what it was carrying, that payload, right? So he kept it in the air, so no one's seen it land. You couldn't get a ping or a read on it, any kind of coordinates on it, because it stayed in the air. And it has stealth aspects to it, so overall radar shouldn't be able to pick it up. But I know that some radars are able to and capable to. But I don't know, man, it was masterful how tactically everything lined up. You know what I mean? That was crazy. Just need some good old green facts, line those pockets.
I think it's the last thing on their mind right now.
Did Iran make any commitments yesterday about uranium enrichment? About uranium enrichment?
They're not going to have enrichment
and like from what I heard, I can't even say that he said this, and I don't want to spread any kind of propaganda or anything like that, but the uranium that's enriched, apparently, this is just been heard that he's given them permission to sell it to China and for China to take it. And I think that Trump's cool with them keeping 3% to keep a nuclear plant running for power, because they didn't bomb two of the three sites, where two of the sites are meant for the power governing throughout Iran, right? Instead of them going back to coal, even though they got like a plethora of oil over there. And he's, ever since the bombing happened, he even said to leave them with the oil, said to Russia and China, if they want to purchase oil from them, go ahead, just because he's like, they need to rebuild. I'm not going to take all their shit, so he's leaving them with something. Kind of like the whole thing where they ended up bombing the American base that was over there. That was just a show, like the show face, a show of force, that they didn't like lose, but it is what it is. Everybody's seeing it. It's written on the fucking wall.
They're not going to have a nuclear weapon, and they know that. They're going to get on to being
I'm not on
a
Twitch.
great trading nation. You know, they're very good trading.
I'm not on Twitch at all.
And they're going to be a great trading nation, and they have a lot of oil. They're going to do well. They're not.
I don't like Twitch.
They're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Did they
The last
promise?
thing on Iran's mind right now is nuclear weapons.
The last thing on their
Clarify
minds,
what you meant
nuclear
when you
weapons.
mentioned regime
What a
change
G.
in your Truth Social post the other night. Regime change. Do you want to see regime change in Iran?
No. If there was, there was. But no, I don't want.
He doesn't even want to say that, because if he says it, it's like you're kind of showing your hand, right? Where it's something that he wants, that a good majority of world leaders want. Not only that, but Iran wants that too, right? But Buddy's about, like, the Sheik over there is about to die anyway, right? He's like in his 80s. He's going out with a bang, pretty much.
That's interesting because there's a whole rhetoric out there that's claiming that Trump wants to see a regime change.
Hold on. I don't want to be covering Mr. Sunshine's face, man. That's my bad. My bad.
And to be honest, it would probably be for the betterment of the world to get rid of the RGC and to just get someone in there that goes back into the 70s, where Iran was a very westernized culture. I don't know if people know that. Women were allowed to.
Well, it's funny. I do have an account over there. I just never stream over there. You know, like I've never streamed. Well, that's not true. I used to stream on Twitter. That was a long time ago, and now like I didn't even break 10 followers. That's an old ass account and shit and whatever. And that's when I was really into Battlefield.
To wear bikinis. They were on the beach. They were flaunting themselves more so than they were in France during the time. And then in the 70s, the regime booted up again, and now all of a sudden it's a quite oppressed country that focuses highly on terrorism. So is Trump trying to be diplomatic and saying that he doesn't want a regime change?
Yes.
Probably. I mean, very likely. But if there was an opportunity for him to create a regime change with zero consequences, then likely that's the route that would be taken.
I'd like to see everything calm down as quickly as possible. Regime change takes chaos, and ideally we don't want to see so much chaos, so we'll see how it does. You know, the Iranians are very good traders, very good business people, and they got a lot of oil. They should be fine. They should be able to rebuild and do a good job.
Like I was saying about the oil and stuff, and he's even saying they should be able to rebuild.
Never gonna have nuclear, but other than that, they should do a great job, which is exactly what I've been saying for years. You cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
No.
But we're gonna be with.
I know it's funny. From the Bush administration all the way up, each single president, even Kamala Harris, fucking what's her name? Anyway, yeah, they all said the same thing. Like even Barack Obama and stuff, Hillary Clinton. That's it. Even though we all know about her situation too, those emails.
Here's Marco. I think Marco's here.
You got 500 followers on it. Sick.
Secretary of State. But we cannot
Yo, if you want, you can link your Twitch, man.
let them have a nuclear weapon. They won't have a nuclear weapon. And I will tell you, the last thing on their mind is nuclear weapons. They don't even want to think about nuclear. And our B-2 pilots made this all possible. They had
Which was
a
crazy.
magnificent hit in the dark of night with no moon, no light, no nothing.
And he's been so consistent with this story continuously. It's the exact same, note for note.
They hit the target perfectly, wiped it out, and the press is very disrespectful. I saw CNN fake news going, well, maybe it wasn't a perfect hit, it was perfect. They said maybe it did destroy it. We agree, it did destroy it, but maybe it could have destroyed it more. No, it couldn't have destroyed it more. Everyone hit, and it's very disrespectful to those great geniuses and patriots that flew those planes through tremendous danger. So CNN...
So something that I actually noticed about Trump is the way how he speaks, right? And how he speaks, he uses words that like it's enormous. It's bigger than what it is, kind of thing, right? Geniuses, stuff like that, where he'll throw out these big words like that to big people up, right? To like play into people's ego a little bit. Right, because people end up hearing that, like, someone comes up to you, they're like, all of that stuff that you did was so brilliant, and like in front of all these people makes you look like a genius, or makes you feel good, right? He's giving you admirations, and like I see that's how he speaks, man. That's how he speaks. I could see how he could be really convincing when it comes to like business strategy conversations, right?
And MS, DNC are disgraced.
I agree. When it comes to wartime and stuff like that, and military operations to that extent, you're either in or out. And it's about being patriotic. It's about hyping up our troops. In this case, American troops. It's about hyping up the operation.
Also, Mr. Sunshine here served in the Canadian military for like 9 years. So salute to you. I appreciate you.
And being pro-America, and CNN just proves time and time again that they are anti-America, they're anti-Western.
Make sure you check out
culture.
his channel.
All they have
Link in
to
the
do is
description.
Criticize and bash Republicans. It's so weird. It's
That
such
sounds a little low.
politicized media outlet. People are fed up with it. People just want the truth. It was a perfect hit. It was phenomenal. It's, in my experience, in my lifetime, the most badass military operation that's ever existed. And I can't wait someday for the details to actually start to come out a little bit more. Even though there's
What's low,
quite
me?
a few mock-ups and like CGI and AI made videos out there that show and depict what exactly happened, but it's freaking cool.
I know on Trump's part there, it was kind of low because there were microphones and stuff like that. And if I sit back here, it sounds low too. So like I'm trying to stay up,
Well, but I'd love to know you guys'
like
thoughts in
closer
comments
to the
down
mic
below.
because
Do
the
you
mic
think it was a
is in the
perfect hit?
camera.
Do you think it wasn't a perfect hit? Let me know what you guys think. Next up, we're taking a look at Canada, China, Canada. Mark
Check
Carney,
this.
what does he have to say? Selling our soul to Europe. Well, it's not good. It's actually quite concerning.
So this is what I need to see realistically. Like that whole thing about Trump, that was dope as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. Like yo, big ups. The shit was crazy, right? But now we gotta hear what's going on up here in Canada, the good old white north. What's happening up here with Mr. Mark Carney, who is our current prime minister.
Mark Nixon posted this 1-minute clip on X that got almost 500,000 views. Holy smokes. Mark Carney lied to get elected. Now he's signing Canada into a new world order with Europe. Digital ID, climate change agreements, carbon tracking, the whole web.
Oh man. Digital ID, climate change agreements, carbon tracking, a whole, what is that? WEF playbook. This isn't sovereignty, it's submission. It's more than submission, man. It's more than submission. Even the mask, Abo Up Brigade didn't ask for this. Yo, facts. And he ran on that. And like, yo, all the fucking boomers fucking voted for him. All the older people, because like the whole thing that they have coming in is it's about the prices of homes, because you can't get a home up here unless you have $1 million. Like dead ass. There's a couple places, sure, like $380K, you're able to get a spot that's like out in the sticks and shit, somewhere completely different province than what I'm in. But like within my province, everything's like over $1 million, or like $875,000, some shit like that. It's up there, man. It's up there. And like in my like for me, I will never own a home because the fucking tyranny that we got going on up here.
A playbook. This isn't sovereignty. This is submission. Even the masked elbow up brigade didn't ask for this.
Joint research and innovation.
Bro, look how fucking Weasley this dude is, man. Like, this motherfucker's a banker. He's a banker. He's never had anything to do with politics, right? He was born in Canada, but he lived in the EU for the longest time, and he did all his business in the EU and stuff like that, right? Literally came back to Canada because I guess someone in Justin Trudeau's camp got him to come over, and this guy's supposed to fix everything. But everything's so bad up here. Cost of gas has just gone up again. Like, it fluctuates obviously, but like, man, it's mad expensive as shit, right? On top of like groceries went up, everything just keeps going up. Rent goes up, my rent just went up again. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You know, at its core, final word, Europe was born as a project of peace. And Canada, over the years, over the decades...
Yo, honestly, he just needs to leave the peace shit to Trump.
Has served alongside European allies in pursuit of that peace. It's that, in those circumstances, from Vimy to Juno, that the world came to know the value of our strength.
And like, it really bothers me how he talks about our strength. It's like, dog, he's like a visitor. You know what I mean? He has to do something about what is it? The immigration, man. That's a whole other thing.
But now we're working alongside the European Union to combat climate change. to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and to protect.
Bro, I hate, like, yo, this would be a hot take if you want to take it like that, but, like, honestly, climate change doesn't exist. Climate change does not exist, in my opinion. Earth goes through cycles, man. It's a thing. You know, for all the carbon emissions that we end up paying for, honest to God, 2 hours over in India just puts it back into the air. And not only that, but the oxygen that we end up receiving, a good majority of that comes from the ocean, because you got phytoplankton and all that other stuff chilling on top, and when it finally blooms, it gives off the carbon, the oxygen takes in the carbon and stuff, right? And it bounces off our atmosphere, it goes around, and trees and all that other good stuff.
Amongst other things, academic and scientific freedoms. In these ways, the world knows the strength of our values. And this partnership, which is in defense and security and economics.
Yo, my boy, the other day, straight up, he's like, Mark Carney looks like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. He does. He actually does. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Really builds the strength.
Look at him.
Builds those strengths in both our jurisdictions and lives up to our values.
Oh my goodness, man. This guy sold Canada out to Europe. It doesn't just
so
end
bullshit.
there. Okay, Carney is actually making a deal with the EU ahead of the NATO summit, and CBC seems to be very excited about it. I, for one, am excited about the fact that Canada could potentially make money. That's all I care about. Let's make money.
Facts.
Let's sell oil to Russia. I don't give a shit. I really don't. Remove the sanctions, start pumping oil. Maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm stupid, maybe it's everything. But Canada needs to, or maybe I'm just being a little funny. Canada.
I agree. I agree, though. I agree. We got that whole situation where, like, we could do the pipeline, and we'd be able to do the pipeline with the U.S. and all that other shit. It would open up jobs. It'd make everything a lot better overall.
Canada needs to be making money, and we have a big customer, the world's biggest customer, right next to us. We don't need boats. We don't need to traverse an ocean. We can just ship it to them. In fact, we don't even need to ship it. We got a pipeline.
Told you.
It goes right through their border. America is the biggest customer of oil and gas, and especially ahead of any precautionary World War III moves that they are taking. They need oil and gas more than ever. More than ever. So why aren't we going to them? Why aren't we going to Europe? Well, this is the problem that everyone is scratching their head over, other than fake news CBC. See, Europe is the love child of Mark Carney. Mark Carney was a banker in Canada and then went over to the UK and then made all of his ties over there.
Fucking told us so. Told us so.
Eastern part of the world. That's where he prefers to be. You see his face glow up. He smiles.
Gets all buddy.
Ear to ear, shit-eating grin whenever he meets his old buddies, his old pals from Europe. I think that this is almost worthy of investigation. Someone go tell Moose on the Loose to investigate this and add this to his Moose book.
Bro, you heard him. Like, straight up throw him under investigation. I want to see where taxpayer money's going, honestly. As a citizen that pays taxes and works, I want to know what my money's going towards. You know what I mean?
Joking, buddy. I love your work. Because the ties that Mark Carney has to Europe is just, it's disgusting. It's disgusting that we are selling our souls to Europe. Anyways, let's take a look at the video. Here we go.
As Canada's ties with the United States fray, Prime Minister Mark Carney moves to strengthen.
Dog, your head's so round. What the fuck? Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you serious? Are you dead ass right now? Holy.
Ties with Europe. Carney has signed a strategic defense and security partnership with the European Union, an agreement that comes as Canada rewrites its relationship with the United States and works towards a new trade deal.
what we're going to do, irrespective of the outcome, is we are going to build trading relationships with like-minded partners, reliable partners, partners that are aligned with our values. It begins here. You see the ambition in this partnership and the scope of ambition, and that's the future of trade.
Okay, we have some partners who are aligned with our values here. It's the Power Panel. Lisa Raitt is a former Conservative cabinet minister, and here with me in the studio, Vandana Cotter was an advisor to former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and Jordan Leichnitz is a former NDP strategist. Good to see you all. It's Monday, right? Happy Monday. It's good to see you.
Yo, Mr. Sunshine kills me. Mr. Sunshine straight kills me.
Lisa, start with you if we can. There's a long statement here.
Long.
It is like I read it and I was like, these are all the things the G7 didn't say. So the European members in Canada are saying it in this statement. But you can see the strategic intent here. This is the chess game that Mark Carney is trying to play of moving away from the United States and connecting more with Europe. What do you make of the direction and intent of what was unveiled today?
It's a lot. I mean, everything is in there. So I think it's so expansive. There's a couple of things that I zero.
It costs money because we're going to be shipping shit back and forth, man. Like, we say across the pond for a reason. You know? Like, bruh. There's going to be other taxes, like, paid on that and shit, bro. Man.
In on that I care a lot about. First of all, in there is LNG, that we're going to work with our European partners on LNG. I gave a check mark for that. They mentioned nuclear in there, looking to see whether or not we can progress through a new deal for nuclear. I like that as well. I think that's a really positive thing. I like the fact that we're talking.
I don't like the fact that we need other countries to work on nuclear. I believe that.
So, like, we could have our own. We have more than enough minerals. We have, like, the world's freshest, cleanest water and shit up here. You know, there's plenty of capabilities. I'm pretty sure that we have enrichedness because there's other power plants that are out here too.
Canada could be a nuclear energy powerhouse, the leading nuclear energy in the entire world. We have the most advantageous landmass out there, out of any other country
Big
in
land,
the world.
man. Big land.
We have a natural refrigeration system unlike any other.
Up
Russia,
north.
perhaps, but they're not really focused this much on nuclear energy. Canada could put up a whole bunch of nuclear plants, small modular reactors in northern communities, in northern parts of this country, and the sheer coldness of the land would just help cool it down. And we could see how that goes.
Like facts,
and then we could go from there. It's insane that Canada is not investing in. It's because nuclear, it sounds bad. It's the cleanest energy. It's the most powerful energy.
That's
Oh
true.
my goodness,
It would
man.
make a lot of jobs,
that
too.
one little tiny, almost grain of rice, one small little
I think that we run on, like, hydropower, like from a hydro dam.
speck of what uranium or nuclear energy, like tiny little piece, is as powerful as over 100 barrels of oil. That's insane. We should be absolutely doubling down on this. It's crazy that we're not doing it. And I don't think that we need European partners. I don't think we need American partners. We could be doing it ourselves. But whatever, man. Whatever. Look at this. What is
Facts.
this? What are the Three Musketeers? What the hell is?
But, like, what Carney's trying to do is, like, build relationships with people that he knows, right? That he's aligned with his values and stuff like that. That's who he's going towards. And I already know that a good majority of the older generation's looking at it and being like, oh, that's cool. But some of them are starting to turn and be like, man, just the cost of everything.
This is handshake.
Talking about defense
It's not a
procurement, I
handshake.
think German subs probably make a lot of sense
It's a
for
hand
us.
sandwich,
The
bro.
reality is that we did get squeezed out of some other big discussions around defense. We got squeezed out between
Oh,
the Americans.
Marco Mendicino, look at that. Oh, it's spotted out in the wild. sucking at the taxpayers' teat.
And the Australians. We got squeezed out of another one with respect to Japan and India. So it makes sense that we pivot to Europe. I think the Prime Minister is filling in gaps that have been left, quite frankly, by a previous government. And that's the dancing partner that's left for us. So let's see how it all pans out. But there's stuff in there that warms my cold conservative heart. So
there are so many cold conservatives' hearts being warmed by the Mark Carney era here, Vandana. Like, how are the Liberals feeling about this? I just wonder, what are your thoughts on what we saw here with this this framework with Europe? Because there's still some real meaningful details to come.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Mark Carney has campaigned on, both in leadership and during the campaign, so I think Liberals are not surprised by it. He talked about the fundamental change in the relationship with the United States and how we find better alliances, and we've overly relied on the United States, so I think this is a shift that we have been prepared for, Mark Carney has been preparing for. And I saw like both your points to the long statement. They talked about a number of other things. They talked about global institutions that they are aligned on. They talked about world crises, so more traditional geopolitical view. And I noticed that and President Costas also was talking about shared values of reliability. They talked about our similar vision to how we see foreign policy. They talked about Africa. So a number of things that also, on top of what Lisa said, are
Trump already like solved a bunch of shit down there too, man. Like Trump's already been like solving shit down there, bro.
they're united on, have a vision on, so I think we'll see more of that.
There's a reference to climate change in this thing, Jordan, which we did not see at the G7 just a week ago, which is
I think that's kind of stupid.
We know why. But what's your high-level takeaway from what we saw today here?
Well, I mean, to me, this just underlined the degree to which the G7 had become a disaster avoidance exercise, or an exercise in sort of managing Trump and the Americans, rather than one where people could, like-minded countries were coming together around a table to achieve a diversity of sort of foreign policy goal.
Just so everybody knows, up here, yeah, we sipping coffee, sick. Fucking up here, our news talks so slanderous of Trump. It's kind of whack.
So you saw that actually coming out in this statement and not in the G7 statement. And, to hear, as we did in the wake of the G7, that, potentially the Americans were looking to water down some of the language around Ukraine, certainly that would be of significant concern to a lot of your...
That's a whole other thing too, man. It's a whole other fucking thing too. It's like 8.3 million or billion dollars, some shit like that like we're gonna end up... Okay, so don't take my word for it. I'd have to look it up. You know what? Give me a second. I want to see. I gotta see it now. Gotta see it now. Hold on. To Ukraine. Since the beginning of 2022, Canada has committed $19.7 billion in multifaceted support to Ukraine. This includes over $12.4 billion in direct financial assistance. $12.4 billion, the highest in the G7 on a per capita base, right? Jesus. $12.4 billion in direct financial assistance. $19.7 billion. Hold on, 2025. Canada has committed another $4.5 billion in military assistance to Ukraine. Okay. Word.
European allies. So I noted in the statement that there was a good amount of time taken to really underlining that commitment and Canada's commitment. And look, I think, for a very long...
Okay, so I said that if Mark Carney does good stuff, then I would say that he's doing good stuff. Here's my take on everything that's going on. Some of the things that Mark Carney is trying to do aren't inherently bad. They're good ideas. Investing in our defense to hit 2% of our GDP in his first year as Prime Minister. If Pierre Poilievre did that, I'd be screaming from the rooftops, that's our guy! So, I'm not inherently upset that he's doing that. In fact, I've come out and said, I think it's brilliant. But
we need to work on our military.
Where is the money coming from?
Honestly.
That's like a huge thing.
Yeah.
Is he cutting social programs? Because the left, even the NDP, is radically against cutting social programs. At least they are if it's Pierre Poilievre doing it. So are they for the Liberals doing it? Because they've been pretty silent about that. And investing in nuclear, I think is good. If Pierre Poilievre was doing this, I'd be screaming from the rooftops going, yeah! But I don't think we should be relying on other countries to do that. We've overly relied on other countries for trade and for a lot of things. And we've proven that when push comes to shove, when sanctions this and COVID down and blah, 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 relying on other countries is just a disaster waiting to happen. So I agree with investing in nuclear, but we should be investing it here ourselves, not in the Indo-Pacific region like whatever the Liberals and Trudeau started to do. We should be investing it here. We should be building small modular reactors.
Yeah, because like the best investment is investing in yourself for you to profit for yourself overall. Like I fully agree. I agree with what he's saying.
Here in Canada, in the north, give jobs, bring attention to the country. Like it's a win-win-win scenario. So I agree with the concepts of what's happening. I don't agree with the execution and how they are happening. But hey, leave it up to the Liberals to continuously mess it up. I think that we are on a better path than where we were with Justin Trudeau, but not necessarily a fixing path for Canada, because we still don't know what the budget is. We still don't know how much money this guy is in a deficit, because again, where is the money coming from? Social programs are still out there. $10 a day daycare is still being heavily subsidized. Oh my goodness, I got a story about that. That's for another video. Holy crap. Personal experience with that. Oh my goodness, looking at my kids going into daycare. Wow, it's heavily, ridiculously subsidized. Again, more on that in another video. So I just kind of want to pass the question off to you as we approach the end of the video. Are you agreeing with this? Like the defense spending, with investing in nuclear, with trade deals with Europe? I don't necessarily agree with the trade deals with Europe, but I just want Canada to start making money. And maybe Trump going to the NATO summit is going to be a way for him to bridge the gap between you can't just make deals with Europe, you got to make deals with America. So we're going to see how this plays out. Again, decent ideas, things that Pierre was pro, but just the execution of it, I feel like is not in our best interest. Again, my opinion, I would love to know yours. That is the end of the video, folks. So if you did enjoy it, it'd be super awesome for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.
That's Mr. Sunshine, yo. Make sure you check his channel out. Check his channel out, like dead ass. Well, I'm gonna pull it up real quick so everybody can see it. But yeah, no, man. That's pretty much how it is. That's what's like going on up here in Canada with our Prime Minister at the moment, who's like our commander-in-chief, like our president. Not really a president though. Prime Minister. But yeah, no, man. I just have to wait and see what actually transpires and stuff, because there is spending going towards our military, which is sick. Like finally, for the longest time, we haven't been putting anything into our military really. And I agree that we should end up trading with the US overall. And I also agree with the nuclear situation, because we're on a hydropower. I looked it up. I had to make sure. But like, yeah, no, man. You let me know what you think. That's pretty crazy, man. That is nuts. Straight up. But yeah, no, man. I'm gonna call it here for tonight. I gotta go to bed. What time is it? It's 3 a.m. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go to bed. Check that out though. If you're into Canadian politics and shit, check it. Alright, have yourselves a good one, people. Take care of yourself and each other.